What's up guys, Droid Motor X here, you're watching XDA TV. As you guys have probably heard by now, Cyanogen has officially released CyanogenMod 12 nightlies for a small handful of devices anyways. Not many devices are here yet. We have the Nexus 4, Nexus 6, Nexus 7, and the OnePlus One. Today we're going to go ahead and take a look at the official nightly of CyanogenMod 12 on the Nexus 6. Obviously, CyanogenMod is looking forward to releasing this on several other devices. For now, we have a stable build that you can use as a daily driver. A few things are missing here, such as the theme engine and also navigation bar customizations, but that should be expected going from KitKat to Lollipop. This is a huge jump from one version to another, so we can expect, a few things to be missing, but all in all, this is a pretty complete build of CyanogenMod 12 that we're seeing in the nightlies. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so this may seem a little odd, but the thing that stood out to me most, and the thing that really gave me a great first impression of CyanogenMod 12, really made me excited about having flashed this, was just how awesome the camera application works. So if I open up CyanogenMod camera app here, you'll notice that we're missing a few things here. We don't have the lens blur effect that we get from just the regular Nexus 6 camera. We don't have sphere, and we don't have the panorama mode. We just have camera and video. But the camera actually works incredibly fast versus what we would have had on just the regular stock Nexus camera. So if you guys have the Nexus 6, you know that the shutter speed is ridiculously slow, and it seems to just be a software issue because CyanogenMod's camera shutter speed is super quick. So if we press the camera here, you guys can see just how quickly it takes pictures. I mean, it's just instant. The camera app, video camera app works well too. And then also one thing that was cool here, a lot of times in CyanogenMod, or like in CyanogenMod 11, 4K was not supported. But if we go into our settings, and we go into resolution and quality, we go into video, you guys can see that the UHD 4K is present. So that's another really cool feature in the CyanogenMod camera. Okay, so there aren't really a whole lot of customizations in CyanogenMod 12, and like I mentioned earlier, there's no theme engine here. There are no navigation button customization options, but if we go into settings, and we go into status bar, we do have just a few customization options. So we have the brightness control, which just allows us to grab the status bar and slide it back and forth to change the brightness. Okay, we also have the quick pull down option, which is really cool because that allows us to just simply grab the status bar and pull it down. So that gives you quick access to your toggles. Normally you'd have to pull it down and then pull it down again, or you could use two fingers, which is really awkward. But with this quick pull down, you just simply grab it and pull it down. So I really like that feature. You have the show notification count, so it just shows you how many emails are coming in, or how many Twitter notifications are coming in, how many Facebook notifications. There's also a new feature here, the show weather option. If you click that and you pull down your status bar, it gives you the temperature and the forecast there, which is really cool. I noticed today when I was out working in the elements that I did use this quite a bit. It really became useful with it being as cold as it is right now. I know for a lot of you 32 degrees is probably short and t-shirt weather, but for me down south, that is incredibly cold. Earlier today it actually got down to 20 degrees, but that's neither here nor there. Another option here is the battery status style. I like text, but there's also circle. You can choose icon. If you do have circle, you can also choose to have text with the circle, but I just prefer text. It looks cleaner. One thing that I wish that Team CyanogenMod would have included here is a center clock. That's not present. Maybe they'll add it in the future. Maybe they won't. So another really cool feature here is the clear all recents. So if you open up your recents, instead of having to swipe through every single recent application like you do in standard Android Lollipop, they've added the clear all recents button. You can just simply tap that and it clears everything. Nice and easy. Because as you guys know, or maybe you've experienced this, if you haven't done that in 2 or 3 days, you might have 100 apps that you have to manually clear out. So it's really nice to have that clear all recents button present. So another couple of things that we'll talk about real quickly here. If we go into our settings and we go down to about phone, click on the build number 7 times and that will open up your developer options. If you click on developer options, you can enable this advanced reboot option. If we press and hold the power button and then we press reboot, that gives us a new custom reboot menu. So that allows us to soft reboot our phone. We can reboot directly into recovery or directly into bootloader. So this is really awesome because it means that you no longer have to download a third-party app like Flashify to quickly reboot. You don't have to memorize button combinations to get into recovery. So I really like the fact that that's present. And then if we scroll down here and click on this root access, root access is disabled by default. So the phone is rooted, but access to root is disabled by default. If you want to enable it, you'll just need to go here and enable it for either apps only, or if you want to be able to give super user permission on ADB on your PC, then you would need to go apps and ADB. Okay, so in the past, Privacy Guard has been the permissions manager for all your applications. So if you go into the Play Store, you download an application, it gives you a whole list of permissions that application is allowed to have. So CyanogenMod basically said if you are a music playing application, you are meant to play music, why do you need access to the contacts list, or why do you need access to my emails or my browsing history? So basically any private information, Privacy Guard does not allow the application to have. Applications are still able to function without those unnecessary permissions. But one thing that it also does now is it also manages root access. So if I go into, say, root checker here, and I press and hold it, we have options here for allowed, ignored, or always ask. If I launch the application, and I go to verify root, it's going to ask, root checker basic would like to get super user access. So we would click remember and allow, and that takes care of the root permissions. Whereas Super SU would need to be downloaded separately to do the same thing. If we go into settings and display, you do have adaptive brightness, which is already in Lollipop by default. We have rotation options here. We can enable 180-degree rotation so that you can actually turn your phone upside down. Here you have the ambient display option, which wakes up the screen when the device is picked up. You have an option to cast the screen. You have an option to double tap to sleep. So if you double tap the notification bar, it will make your phone sleep. Okay, if we go into buttons, there's a couple of other modifications in here for different buttons. But the ones that I was most excited about are the volume buttons here. So you can choose to make your volume buttons wake up the device, which on the Nexus 6, it's not as necessary because you have the power button right above the volume rocker, so you could just reach a little bit higher there and grab that. But if you turn that on, either of the buttons will wake up the device. You can also enable playback control, so you can actually skip tracks with the volume up and volume down. If you're listening to music on, say, the Google Play Music application or any other music application, you're able to skip through tracks with the volume rocker. Okay, there's also an option here to reorient the volume buttons. So if you have your phone turned upside down, volume up would be volume down would be volume up. Okay, you also have an option here for keyboard cursor control. If you enabled that and you brought up your keyboard, say you're tapping out a text message and you want to go back in the conversation and add a word, you're able to just use the volume rocker to move that cursor back in the conversation. If we go into settings and we go into system profiles, there are different profiles that you can set up for different times of the day. So like there's a night profile for say 8 o'clock to 7 a.m. If you want your phone to be silent with no notifications from that time period, you're able to enable that there, and you can set these up as you like. Okay, you do have some performance options. You can actually underclock the CPU, which can help to save battery life. There are also some governors here that you can change that will help with battery life as well. And then you can choose to set those on boot. So one other really cool feature here, most of you guys that are still on an unlimited data plan, the first thing you want to do when you root your device is figure out how in the world to enable hotspot or how to enable free Wi-Fi tethering. That is already enabled inside this ROM. All you got to do is pull down the quick status bar here and just click on the hotspot, and that'll automatically turn on your hotspot. Now you can change the password by going in and setting up your own password, but I just thought it was really neat that is included in CyanogenMod 12. So as you guys can see, there are not a lot of frills and extra customizations, only customizations that are necessary to improve the user experience, and also only customizations that increase performance. So as you guys can see, the ROM moves very fast and fluid. Performance is excellent with this ROM. I have experienced zero lag, zero bugs on CyanogenMod 12 from the Nexus 6. I've been running it now for a couple of days. Battery life has been superb. It is 8:12 at night. I unplugged this phone at 6:45 this morning. I still have 41%, and I'm a pretty heavy user when it comes to cell phones. So another couple of things real quick here that we do have. If we go into settings, we go down to About Phone, click on the CyanogenMod version. That's going to bring up the CyanogenMod Easter egg. If we press and hold, it's going to bring up the CyanogenMod version of the little Flappy Bird game that's included. It is just as difficult as the original, as you guys can see here. Anyhow, you can get stuck playing that thing for hours on end. Okay, you also have some custom wallpapers. So you guys can see the CyanogenMod wallpapers are all here. And then, of course, you do have the CyanogenMod boot animation. But anyways, guys, that about wraps it up for the CyanogenMod 12 official nightly review. This is not, like I said, it's not a full review, and all parts of CyanogenMod 12 are not even here yet. This is still, these are still just nightly, so we don't have a stable release yet, but this is very much daily driver ready. This is what I've been using now for the past couple of days, and once again, I'm excited to run ROMs on my device. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel for more coverage like this. You can find more of me on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/droidmodderx. Thanks, guys, for watching. I'll see you in the next one.